The rain had stopped, but the young woman at the far end of the cemetery kept trembling as if every drop still fell on her alone. Her knees dug into the wet grass, her fingers clutching a bouquet of crushed white lilies. Her shoulders shook with each sob she tried to swallow. That was when a deep, steady voice behind her said, "Excuse me? That's my wife's grave." She froze. Slowly, she turned and saw a tall, well-dressed man standing just a few steps away. His expensive coat, polished shoes, and lonely eyes made him look like someone who had everything except peace. Their eyes met. For a moment, neither spoke. Then he asked softly, "What's your story?" And just like that, everything she had tried to bury for years rose to the surface. Her name was Elena, a 23-year-old waitress who had known more loss than love. 3 months earlier, she had lost the only family she had left, her grandmother. Life since then had been a puzzle she couldn't solve. Rent overdue, job hours cut, and every night she was one bad thought away from quitting everything. But when she stood in the cemetery looking for her grandmother's grave, she stumbled on this grave instead, a beautifully carved marble headstone with flowers so fresh they looked like they were placed that morning. Something about it called to her. She sat down to rest a moment, but the weight of grief burst open, and she cried not for the woman buried there, but for the woman she herself had lost. And now she stood face to face with the owner of that grave. The millionaire stepped closer. "I'm Daniel," he said, sadness softening his voice. "And that's my wife, Clara. She passed 2 years ago. I visit every day." Elena wiped her tears, embarrassed. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to intrude. I saw her picture. She looked kind." Daniel glanced at the engraving. "Clara Williams, beloved wife. Forever gentle." "She was," he whispered. There was a silence that didn't feel uncomfortable, just honest. "Tell me," he said again, "why were you crying so hard?" Elena hesitated. Something about Daniel, the quiet pain in his eyes, made her feel safe enough to speak. "My grandmother," she said. "She raised me. She passed recently. I came here to visit her grave, but I got lost." "Lost?" he asked gently. She nodded. "It's lost in life. It's lost in everything." Daniel listened, like every word mattered. And when she finished, he sat on the grass right beside her, not caring that his expensive clothes would stain. "Know what that kind of loss feels like?" he said. "When Clara died, I lost part of myself. For months, I didn't speak to anyone. Didn't work, didn't sleep. Money didn't fix anything." Elena stared at him. "You seem so put together. Only on the outside," he said with a sad smile. "Inside, I'm still trying to find my way." She felt her eyes sting again, but this time, not from grief. From understanding. They talked for nearly an hour. About the strange way life sometimes connects to strangers at the exact moment they need each other. Before leaving, Daniel surprised her. "Come with me," he said. "There's something I want to show you." Elena hesitated, but she followed. He drove her to a small community center, quiet, clean, and filled with soft sunlight from the tall windows. "This was Clara's dream," he said. "She wanted to create a place where people who are struggling could come for support, for food, for education. Anything. I built it after she passed, but it's still missing something." "What's that?" Elena asked. "Heart," he whispered. "Someone who understands what it means to survive pain. Someone like you." Her mouth parted slightly. "Me. I'm not qualified for anything." Daniel shook his head. "You're qualified for compassion. That's the greatest skill this place needs." Elena swallowed hard. "What would I do here?" "Talk to people. Listen to them. Help them the way you needed someone to help you." Tears rolled down her cheeks again, but this time they were different. Softer. Lighter. "Why me?" she whispered. "'Cause," he said. "My wife used to say that the people who break the hardest shine the brightest afterward. And you're shining, Elena. Even if you don't see it yet," she accepted. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Elena slowly bloomed in the center, teaching children, guiding grieving families, comforting those who had nobody. In helping others heal, she unknowingly healed herself. Daniel visited often, not as a billionaire, but as a lonely man finding meaning again. One afternoon, after hosting a workshop for single mothers, Elena found Daniel waiting by the entrance. His eyes were gentler than ever. "You've transformed this place," he said. She smiled shyly. "It transformed me first," he nodded. I think Clara would have loved you. Elena felt a warmth rise in her chest. I hope so. They walked back toward the cemetery together that evening. Standing before Clara's grave, Daniel placed a flower and whispered, Thank you. Elena, standing beside him, finally understood the message life had been trying to give her all along. Sometimes the people we lose guide us quietly, gently toward the people we're meant to find. And for the first time since her grandmother's passing, she felt something she hadn't felt in a long, long time. Hope, in the end. Two broken hearts didn't just heal. They lifted a piece of Clara's dream into the world. A dream of kindness, a dream of second chances. A dream born from grief, but strengthened by love. And that day in the rain-soaked cemetery became the moment that changed both their lives forever. If you or someone you know is struggling with grief or mental health, please know that help is available. Organizations like the Grief Recovery Method and the National Alliance on Mental Illness offer support and resources. Reaching out is a sign of strength. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more stories that inspire.